WCSH 6. This is 207.
But first, there is something about lighthouses that makes one hopeful, happy, downright romantic, even when you're familiar with the hardships and life-threatening dangers that generations of lighthouse keepers endured to make sure ships could make safe passage into Maine harbors.
Now you can get a rare glimpse into what life is really like living on an outcropping in Boothbay Harbor known as Cuckolds Light. And you can do it in relative comfort, many would say downright luxury. Since 1907, keepers have made this short but treacherous boat trek to tiny, intrepid Cuckolds Light.
Oh, wow, look at it.
Nancy Urquhart Conley knows it well. In 1966, when her son Wendell was just 2, her husband was named head keeper here. At that time, there was no dock or ramp, so you rammed your boat right up onto a board on the rocks where a winch hook was secured.
The winch was in the boathouse, and we had to make sure that the whole thing was down into the water with a giant hook. And we'd jump out of the pea pod, hook it on the front of the pod, go like that, and whoever's in the boathouse would wind up the cable.
Come on in.
Oh.
It has been 50 years since Nancy stepped on this island.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Thank you.
Oh my, it's beautiful. This is my kitchen.
While the footprint is the same, the interior of the house, which is now a functioning inn, is much different by necessity.
We were going to restore the light tower, which was absolutely falling down, unstable, unsafe, leaking, rusted, rotting, and undercut by the tides.
That was the proposal Janet Reingold and a couple of other Boothbay area residents came up with when they first learned a decade ago that Cuckolds had been placed on a federal list of, quote, excess properties.
And if nobody stepped up, then they would try to auction it off, and if nobody stepped up, they would tear the whole thing down and put up a fiberglass pole with a light on top, and that would have been the end of it. And so we stepped up.
Reingold admits now that the group had no idea what they were getting into. They envisioned an all-volunteer effort with donated supplies, but they quickly realized they needed civil engineers, historians, architects, and heavy equipment that had to be barged onto the island. They marshaled millions in material and monetary donations, but what really won this local group the permit to take on the project over 5 other out-of-state applicants was their plan to turn it into a self-supporting venture, an inn.
And then we would rebuild the keeper's quarters on the exterior, historically accurate, but interior repurposed to meet the new mission of maintaining and sustaining and preserving this place. So we had to have a way to generate some revenue streams, and that's one of them.
If the sumptuous guest suites aren't enough to lure you out here for a stay, wait till you see the views from the light tower.
Oh.
Those, say Nancy Conley, have not changed one bit.
After 50 years, I can't believe I've climbed up there again.
Unparalleled in beauty, but they also bring back the precarious life that families faced out here.
Wendell, I never allowed him out of my sight around here at all. And when I go out to do the laundry, he would go with me.
But she says the house, which was a duplex then, and an engine man and his family lived on the other side, was quite comfortable. It was warm and cozy and had 2 phones. One was black for the families to use, and one was red for emergencies. Nancy says she came close to using that one only once.
Because my son developed a real high fever, and I wasn't sure what doctor or where to go. And it was a little rough, but the Coast Guard managed to get out here in their 40-footer and get us, and I took him into the local doctor. And we kept that doctor for years and years and years.
Because the high tides and conditions have not changed, no guests under the age of 12 are allowed on the island now. And if you do book a stay, you have to sign a waiver in case the keepers find that it is not safe to get you on or off the island at designated times.
There would be worse places to be stuck, right?
Dan and Barb Bobby are the volunteer lighthouse and innkeepers.
We pick up the magazine that says looking for a dream job. We're looking for lighthouse keepers. And when we saw the article, we both said to ourselves, this isn't on our retirement to-do list, but maybe we should give it a shot.
We've been married for 32 years.
But I knew then, 32 years ago, she was going to be a keeper.
It's a life Nancy Urquhart Conley says she wouldn't trade for the world.
I think it's wonderful. I am so glad they took it over and they refurbished it and they're doing something positive with it.
A stay at the inn at Cuckolds Light is $350 a night during the week and $500 for a weekend night. There's a 2-night minimum. Now, the price includes boat transport to and from the island, breakfast, and lunch.
I have a feeling that about 90% of the people who just saw that story are thinking, as I am right now, I want to go.
It's gorgeous.
What a magnificent spot. There are some dates that are still available for this season. There are also day tours for the public. We've got a link with more information. You'll find that in the 207 section of WCSH6.com. What a gorgeous place.
And we should just reiterate that you don't have to stay overnight. Right. There are public tours.
Go out there
and they're, I
think,
$30 for an adult. So, yeah, go out there for the day.